Hello guys, hello guys, hello guys, and yeah, welcome to another one of my Tekken Card Tournament videos, my second video. What I've been doing is that I have split up my gameplay from the first couple of hours I played this game, and what it means is that I actually scooped around to another character at some point, but I've been cutting those parts out so that I'm keeping that in the third video that's gonna be coming. What's coming here is pretty much after the tutorial, where I felt like it was time to me to try to crush it a bit more in terms of PvP gaming, because that is why I looked into this game. It was to get more feeling about how does this game work out in terms of the PvP. Sometimes the waiting option here is just like very long, but I think that's okay if I actually get a real opponent that I can play against and not just some kind of bot. So it's like, yeah, you win some, you lose some, really. I'm still playing with like the default deck, the thing from my starter pack. So yeah, I have the single golden card from the booster that was bought during the introduction period as well. So I don't have like crazy cool options to play around with, but that's gonna be coming in next video, I promise you guys that. So pretty much trying to learn here when to focus and when to strike. My thought here is I don't want to allow my opponent to build up cards. I was at a card disadvantage, now I'm focusing, we're at 1-1. If I attack now and my opponent focuses, we both have 0 cards. That's really the thought, but if I attack now and my opponent blocks, I will have no cards, my opponent will have 2 still, and I will deal no damage. So that's a pretty bad situation to be in. Right now here I have some pretty snappy cards that I can use if I strike. 2 may be blocked, 1 is gonna be damaged, no block, which is pretty awesome for me. I get to do a focus break, as it's called, kill 2 of his cards, get goodies for myself, and I like almost have the killing punch here because my opponent doesn't choose to block. And this is what you can experience when you're going PvP, because the ideal move here would have been to block. I could not have damaged my opponent, they could have blocked 2 cards, I only had 2, so it was kind of foolish of me to actually strike because I should have been blocked, but my opponent didn't do it, and that pretty much resulted in a win for me, so that was really cool. Getting a level up, and that means I can now join a team. I haven't done that, and I don't expect to play this game to the point where I want to go team-based. I think I've been a bit too fast to jump into teams when I start out new PvP games, and my like real life doesn't always support that kind of dedication in gaming, so I'm going to like lay a bit low on that for now. Of course, if one of you guys have a team, I wouldn't mind joining it, but I can't really promise like a whole lot of dedication because of all the things that are going on with my university, Christmas vacation, family life, all that stuff. But moving into a few more fights here, this is actually going to be a very fight heavy video where I'm showing a great deal of the battles I have been doing, playing different types of opponents as well, and just commenting a bit on the choices I made here. So obviously you start out by going focus. You can actually buy like power cards for your characters that allow you to start with cards. So focus is not always the move you make when you start, but with this starting deck here it is. So I strike here, and if you noticed, my card had like a bonus if my opponent had only punch cards. Now I'm at the card disadvantage because my opponent did focus and I did a strike. So now I'm like in a bad situation here. My opponent chooses to strike with 2, I go focus, so we kind of flip the tables here, where I now have the card advantage. My opponent has to focus, I focus as well obviously, and now I'm in a very nice position. I actually have 38 damage on hand. I can dual focus, and as you can see on the card, that has a -5 hit point effect. So those are also options that you can use. Now I can dual focus, and if my opponent has, as you can see there, the hit point will be reduced because he has less than 120 health. Now I'm really packing up cards here. It's super risky for me to choose not to strike. My opponent going pretty heavy on my health, but I had huge amount of power in hand. But we're really down to the point where I can do 3 damage and take out my opponent. My opponent needs to do 11. And this is the win. If my opponent blocks, he or she loses 4 hit points. So I can just go strike. If it's blocked, I win anyway. But my opponent actually also had a card that got bonus. And what that means is that we go into a tie here. And like so many things to learn about the strategy in this game, it's pretty fascinating, and it just gets more and more and more. At least it has been doing that for me so far. And that is one of the reasons why I just kept playing it, because there were new layers added to the game all the time, and that's really amazing. Obviously I'm still in the like complete noob part of the game, but moving up slowly in the advancement tiers really. So up against another opponent here, and I actually also fight pandas at some point. It's pretty crazy. But this year is like a pretty cool battle. Again, PvP battle. Both of us very new players, basing that on the fact that we are being matched. So if my opponent has more than 6 hit on the card hit gets -5. A lot of options that you can take into consideration when you do this stuff here. I'm not entirely sure about the hourglass effects, how they affect the gaming, combo, stuff like that. I mean, I'm expecting the U and L to be like upper and lower stuff. Some crazy combo options you can do in this game that I haven't really gotten to experience enough to learn them yet, but it's gonna come at some point really. But I also think that the character I'm playing here may not really be the ideal character for me, which is why I also swapped, not just because I wanted to play a sexy female, but why wouldn't I, but also because the theme in this deck here is just not really me. But of course I'm basing that on like the entire gaming time with the character, so it's not like, okay, I played 3 games and it didn't work out. I'm giving this dude quite a bit of time, and I can see so much potential in the game, and I start noticing that the different characters have completely different fighting styles, and that was another reason why I decided to go in really and see, okay, can I grab another character? How do I do that? How does it affect the game? And yeah, I got beaten to pieces here. That's what happens in PvP. You win some, you lose some. And it's okay, because when you play in this game, this is an energy-based game, meaning that you have this energy up here, and you consume one of them every time you do something, whether or not it's a campaign or a PvP thing. So you have like 5 moves, and I think you get 1 every 10 minutes or something like that. So there we have Dr. Panda. I really like being able to brawl against a panda, and this is where I realized for the first time that the decks and themes in this are like completely different. You see the panda here gets 4 health when it focuses. Once again here, minus hit points if you have less cards. Going block style here, just going completely defensive. Focus block, focus block. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm building up cards here and you're just, you know, like, I don't care. Just blocking. Waiting for what? Just waiting to get the card advantage. So now I need to strike or block. I have filled my card space. You can have 5 cards. So obviously I strike. Opponent just keeps blocking. Look at how much damage I'm dealing here. I'm like, dude, you just lost. But no, not at all. So now Panda goes focus time, complete card advantage, healing up, healing up. Block, card gets 10 hit points. Now it goes strike, bringing us very, very close health-wise. I cannot use my advantage on the card that I focus into, and it's pointless for me to attack with it, so I focus up again. And I'm like, okay, 29 damage there, and then but look at what kind of damage my opponent has, 35 on that card. It's insane. Down to having no cards here. And now my opponent gets like a major advantage again. And now we get this. If you have 3 cards and opponent has 3 cards, plus 25 hit on that card, so I cannot let that happen. If I attack, I'm expecting the opponent to block here, but no. And that is how I want it, because it would again be an ideal blocking situation for my opponent that has this defensive kind of deck, but chose to go attack with way too low health. That was good for me. That was really good for me, but it's like you really need to try to like psych the other, read what direction they're going. I'm not saying that I did that. I'm just saying that I think if you play this on a higher level, that is how you win. Just as in poker, it's about trying to predict the moves of the opponent, because things can really shift in one turn in this game. But I had even more crazy panda games than that one, where I took a massive beating. So looking just a little bit into the leagues here, trying to find out what it is. You can found teams and stuff, so I just like, you know, peeking around, trying to like see the options, and then I felt like I was a bit stuck in here, like how do I get out of it? There is no back button. Stuff like that really kind of annoys me a little bit, that there is, well, I mean, give me a back button. Don't expect me to just tap somewhere. Give me a go the other way button. Cannot be that hard to implement in the game. But yeah, it didn't have one, but you just kind of like need to click to the side or something, then it goes out of it. And then, yeah, as you can see, I had some recording freezes here, and sometimes that happens when I record my device, so I kind of had to close down the Reflector 2 app that mirrors the device onto my computer, restart it again, get the Wi-Fi sync going between my device and the computer, load the thing up to my screen again, scale it and position it to the right place, and then the game could go on again. I'm not entirely sure how long it takes, but let's just okay, it just goes on and on and on. Okay, oh, this is a bit embarrassing, guys. So apparently what happened is that I lost the rest of the video. No, yes I did. So I thought I had like 20 minutes more of game time here. I had some silly panda games going on, but apparently something froze while I was recording this, and all I have is this for the rest of the battle. So I'm horribly sorry, guys, but yeah, I did get to show you guys a bit of a panda battle and some PvP moves. And luckily what's gonna come up next is gonna be me fighting as a super sexy female character and doing campaigns, which I also guess is a bit more interesting than my noobish PvP gaming. So anyway, guys, that was pretty much it from here. As always, thank you very much for watching.